Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tai Chi Wellness. And today we are exploring the things about the spine, the skeleton, and fascia. And I would like to just get started with a little bit of movement so you can explore how the concepts are going to come together and just have some fun with our Halloween ideas. So I'm going to just grab the chair. And I am going to do a little bit of movement that comes from low cup. So I'm going to divert from our usual Tai Chi conversation because low cup provides us with the opportunity to move the water within the system. And this is what I want to talk about a little bit today too. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of the pattern and you can just follow me. I think what I'll do is I'll turn a little bit sideways. That might help with how to follow. So the palms are going to turn up, and I'm just going to do the movement just while everybody tries to find the broadcast and we get started. And today I'm coming to you through Zoom into Facebook and trying a few things to see if we can make the broadcast a little bit easier for those having trouble in their area. Okay, so this is coming up. Do you recognize some things that happen in Tai Chi? And this last little piece. And this is where we'll finish. Just the first part. Okay, so I'm going to do it again. Please copy me. So palm is up. Fingertips turn towards each other, and the right hand comes out to the front. Palms face different directions. And then the hand comes up. Turn the palms to the right. Sweep that through to the left. That's going to come back. Now your right hand goes up to the top, kind of like a white stork spreads wings. And then this is going to go to the brow, wipe, to the knee. Hold the ball, to the brow, wipe, to the knee. Then we're going to wipe the hands, opening. One palm is up, one palm is down. This goes up, open, and I'm going to push out from the center and finish. Okay, I don't know if that felt smoother for you, but I'm starting to notice for me, the breath is starting to slow down a little bit, starting to notice more parts in my body and being a little bit more aware. And oftentimes, because I know people will be on to watch this after the fact, what I know is usually energetically, I can connect with what's going on. So I'm just starting to feel that calmness come into everyone. So I'm going to do it one more time. Okay, so it's coming up. And this becomes a great practice for you. If you want to work on learning this pattern, you can just repeat. This is coming around. You'll notice if you can relax your back, you're going to notice the spine is going to start to feel some pieces that it might not have felt when we did it the first time. Sweep through. Hands come back. Now the right hand is going to go up to the top. And this is going to come around. I believe I did a Tai Chi version of that instead of a low cup version, but that's all right. Hold the ball. Thinking about lots of pieces for you today. Wipe down. Notice that spine. It's going to come through, open. This is going to come down, up to the top, open, and come out. We're just going to let that float down. Okay? Now, if you'll just tie into your breath, just take a nice deep breath in, feel your belly move. Feel that expand and then let that go. And then another breath in. And let that go. That one I felt a little bit higher, so make sure you're coming from the belly. You want to be expanding out from behind, the ribs actually moving, the ribs on the side moving out. Take that breath in. And notice it being nice and expanding all the way around the rib cage. Okay, that little bit for the spine is going to be very important for how you're going to react going forward with what we're going to talk about today. So we have a connection that happens from head to toe. And that is, yes, we have a skeleton, and you'll be seeing lots of those pictures over the next couple of days. We have a skeleton, but we also have tissue. So we have muscles, we have tendons and ligaments. We usually talk about that. But we also have fascia. And the fascia weaves its way through all the other tissue. And it's like a sheet that goes over everything. And I posted on the Tai Chi Wellness Facebook page a video that shows how the fascia works and how you can relate it to an orange. And when you open the orange or a grapefruit up, how it has a membrane that goes around. When you peel the skin back, there's a membrane there. And then as you separate each section of the fruit, you can see that sectional piece, but then you can see sections within sections. And it just keeps going down smaller and smaller. That's fascia. And we have that same in our body. It is a transporter of fluid. So having enough water in the system is really, really important. If you're not drinking enough water, then your body is not going to be able to move quite as easily. It'll get stuck in different places. And today what we want to do is get that fluidity coming in. So when we started the Tai Chi or the low cup set, you probably noticed, here's my movements. Then when we got to the second time, you start to notice, oh, I'm shifting a little bit back and forth on my chair. Aha, you have a little bit more movement happening, a little bit more awareness and fluidity. And by the time we got to the last one, there's this synergy that starts to work from your foot to the top of your head. And as you move through all of those actions, it's a whole body movement. It's not just, here's my hand. It's as I move through, my spine moves, my back moves, my hip, my pelvis, everything is moving all the way through. Okay, that's what I want you to have awareness of today, because the fascia is going to be connecting what's happening in your foot all the way through the body, coming up to the back of the skull. And you want that to be very soft and gentle, but also to be relaying information. If it's really tight in the pelvis, messaging is going to come up, it's going to get blocked, and it's never going to make it to the top. So we want to create the best flow possible that we can. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to grab my little apparatus here so you can see. So this is an example of the fascia. And if you think about these wooden pieces here being a bone, and then you have the ends of the bone, but then you have these pieces that come off, these elastic pieces. If I move one bone, it changes the whole shape, but also the elastics change. And there's a fluid movement where the elastic actually slides along and creates a different shape. And that's the shape-shifting part of the fascia that I wanted to talk about today. because that shape shifting is what allows you to be different from when you started. So your movement, if I was doing hands turning, is hands turning. But when we get into connecting to the feet, connecting through the knees, relaxing the hip, create a crease, and now the hands turning, holding in that space. Now you have a whole body movement going on. So there's fluidity in my body here. And that creates change all the way through. And the fascia is no longer just going to turn and it's like stuck there turning. It's no longer doing that. It's actually moving itself back and forth. So if you watch that video, you'll see the difference that happens with it. Okay, so now I've shown you a little bit of what happens with that tissue. Let's wake some of that tissue up. Okay, so let's wake up with, this is a little piece that we tap into different points on the body. And then that goes into each energy system in the body and energizes it, brings it to life. Okay, so we were doing this in the class in Port Hawkesbury on Wednesday night. We're just going to tap into the side of the hand. And each tap is going to wake up a different part of the body or a different system within the body. And that's going to help us create flow for that fascia. Flip it over. Now you're going to just do the side of your hand. Okay, and then we're going to switch from there to the heel of the hand. And then we're going to go to the back of the hand. All right, and at the moment I'm viewing through my Zoom view, not my Facebook view. So if anybody's come on board, I just want to say hello. I just can't see any names at the moment. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go into the webbing of the fingers. And you're just together. You got it. Okay, and from there, we're going to go into the thumbs. And then what I'd like you to do is take your knuckle and dive it into the palm of your hand, not around the hand, in the center. So you're just going to tap into there. And then we're going to tap into the other side. Perfect. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go on the side of the hip. And you're just going to tap firmly, not too hard, firmly on the side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go down to midway down the leg. So where your fingertips would land if you put your hands down, we're going to go there. So just leaning over, tap into there. It's a little tender on me today. All right, and that's already dissipated, which is great. Okay, so now I'm going to go down to just above my ankle. Now you might not be able to reach there. So anywhere along below the knee that you can reach is great, but you want to tap into the side, aiming for just above the ankle. Okay, now I'm going to turn around and you'll be able to see the skeleton on the back and you'll see this blue triangle. That is going to be where you're going to tap next. And I do have the mic pack right there. So I'll just try not to hit. Okay, as I'm doing that. Okay, now one hand is going to come up and hit on the shoulder, while the other hand is going to come around to hit on the back, on the kidney on the opposite side. If you can't quite get there, swing as far as you can. And if you need to do one and then the other, that's fine. So it'll be swing, change, swing, swing, swing. And as we tap into those 2 points, we're opening up all the energy. You can notice also what's happening through the spine. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so we have that little piece. Now what I'd like to do is we've got everything moving. We've got all the energy systems ready to go. Now what I'd like to do is the neurolymphatics. So this, as you can see by my shirt, there are blue lines that come in the different parts of the skeleton. And so I'm going to rub those points firmly. You rub it with me. So we're going to rub between the bones on the top of the chest. And your fingers are just going between the bones. If you find any points that are a little bit tender, you can take a little bit more time there. For today, we're just going to get them energized. Now we're going to go up and down on the sternum, right in the center. And just rubbing there. Hopefully that's not too loud on the microphone. Now you have K27. The collarbone comes across here. You're going to drop your fingers down just a little bit. It's a little kind of a dimple there. And you're just going to rub into that space. Okay. And then from there, we're going to go a little bit wider, still along the collarbone, and rub there. If you need to, you can turn it into knuckles. All right. Then we're going to take the opposite hand across because it gets too hard. We're going to actually follow along the seam of the shoulder, and we're going to rub up and down along that seam. Okay, and again, if there's a tender spot, you can always go back and rub later. Now we're going to go into the shoulder on the arm, and just with my thumb, I'm just drawing a little circle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go along where the bicep is and the bone. So the arm bone and the bicep muscle, I'm going to go right between the two, rubbing up and down. All right, so let's try the other side. So you have into the shoulder seam, you're going to go up and down. So this one's a little bit tender on me today, I notice. And sometimes it's like fine, and then all of a sudden it pops up that you can feel it. And other times you can feel it right away and then it just disappears. So either way, you're getting everything opening. Okay, so now you're going to go into the shoulder itself and just draw a little circle at the shoulder on the arm. And then you're going along the bicep and the humerus. All right. So you have that part. Okay, so that gets us a little bit of the upper part. So now you would go underneath where a guide wire would be on a bra. And you're just going to rub underneath there, along the ribs. And then you're going to move from there to underneath the ribs. So on my picture, the ribs are looking a little bit higher, but it's actually going to come underneath. They'll go right along the ribs. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to go 2 fingers above the belly button and 2 fingers out and rub there. And then we're going to go 2 fingers out from the belly button, rub there. Now I'm doing all this in a Tai Chi class because I just want you to notice the difference in movement that's going to happen as a result of the care that we'll have taken to wake up some of these important points in the body. Okay, now you have along your hip bone, you have a little spot on the inside and it's on the right. You're just going to rub in that spot along the hip bone. Okay. Perfect. Now you can go on top of the pubic bone and you would just go back and forth across the pubic bone. Sometimes that can be very, very tender. And so it might just need a little bit of gentle care there. Okay, so now we're going to come to the leg. So our knuckles are going to go up the side of the leg. So on my pants seam, I'm going to come up the right on the front side of the pants seam. And I'm just going to rub up. And then take that over to the other side. I'm going to go down the left. So I'm going to come up the right and go down the left. Now I'm going to go on the back side of that seam. So I usually say you're going to walk right in. So that's coming into the body. So you're not left out. And this is going down and out of the body. Okay, now we're going to go on the inside. The pant seam, we're going to go on the front side of that. This one is a fabulous little exercise first thing in the morning. There's like a little fuzz that gets onto the fascia while you're sleeping, and it can stiffen you up. And I'm sure you've experienced that getting out of bed when you notice, I'm going on the back side of the seam here. So I'm sure you can notice it when you're sleeping, you get up and it's like everything's just a little bit tight. There's actually a fuzz that happens along the fascia, and you just need to get that flow started. This is a beautiful exercise. Now, if you remember that triangle on the back, that blue triangle, you're actually just going to rub all the way through there. Now, our intention is a little bit different. In the last exercise, we had been tapping and waking up the different organ systems through their energy lines. This one now we're dealing with fascia. So we've changed our intention and we're rubbing that whole triangle. Now, ideally, if you have somebody at your house who can massage all the way down your spine with firm pressure of fingers into the spine, that would be great. Most of us don't have that. So what you're going to do is you're just going to rub up and down the spine as far as you can reach. And fortunately, there are corresponding spots on the front and back side of the body. So if you miss it in one, you'll get it in the other. So I can get midway, can't get into that middle. You could take a back scratcher. A wooden spoon would do it. You could rub up and down the spine that way. You could also put a ball inside a sock, and then you could go next to the wall and you could roll up and down. So there are a couple options to get at those points if you like. But for today, what we're going to do is we're just going to turn to here, rub on the back of the neck, and it's up and down that you want to rub here. And then you're going to come to the base of the skull and just rub there. Again, up and down. All right. So now that hopefully is going to give you some more fluid movement. Okay, so those are all the neurolymphatics. We tapped all of the points to get things started. Now let's see how the fascia is working. So let's go back to our exercise that we started with. And this was our flow of movement for low cup. Okay, so if you'll notice, I am sitting on my sit bones. My feet, I have my ankles underneath my knees. My knees are shoulder width apart, and the knees are lined right up. Okay, never sitting back into the chair and always trying to be supported. Okay, and what we're going to do is expand up. Nice big breath, let that go. And then this is going to expand front to back. Right hand is forward. Oh, so you might notice your back has a little bit more movement in it than we had last time. Okay, so we're going to turn, reach past. This is going to sink. Now let that flow through. Right hand goes up to the top. Okay, now here's where I should have done the low cut move correctly. I was thinking Tai Chi. The left hand is going to pass along the right because of the turn that I'm going to do. And then we have the palm, wipe the sleeve, and we have down. Hold the ball, goes to the brow, left hand is out this time. This is going to wipe across. And again, it's off the body. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go down, through, expand. This comes down and together, up to the top, feel up through the top of the head, opening, sink. And then we're going to let that come out. Okay, now I hope you could start to feel the quality of the movement. And today, instead of doing the set standing, I'm going to stay seated because I think I can show you a little bit more of how the fascia is going to move within all of that movement. Okay, so let's connect now into the feet. I'm going to call out the actions of the feet, and I want you to notice the spine rotation that's going to come through that. Okay, so we'll just do a little experience with that. So push into the feet. You notice your lower back is going to open and the palms are going to come up. And then when the hands turn, there's a little bit of a release and you almost feel a rise comes through the body. And then what I'd like you to do is notice your sit bones and your right hand is going to go over your left and then they separate. And right here, put a little weight into your right foot and then turning the palms, little weight into your left foot. That allows the turn and the whole spine to be engaged. Little weight into your right brings you back to center. That hand, it's turned and it's going to scoop up and lift. So now left foot helps you go to the right. Right foot helps you come back to the left. Let that come back. Left foot. And now there's a separation. There's a nice lift up to the top through the top of the head. Now right here, your right foot's going to take a little bit. And as the hand comes down, the left foot takes over. Right foot, hand goes to the palm. And this is going to go straight. So you'll notice your lower back gets a little bit of an openness. Left foot turns you to the right. Right foot brings you back to straight, and that comes out. Right foot is going to bring you over. So you've got hold the ball. Left foot comes through. Right foot, and then left foot. Right foot, wiping your palms right across. They expand, one up, one down. Left foot brings you back into the sit bones. Notice that connection straight up through the top of the head. We're going to open, sink. And then this is going to come out from the center, expand. And just notice how the ribs open and the spine opens. Okay. Now I hope your experience of that movement is significantly different than when we started. And if you're learning it for the first time, you just may notice little pieces where it starts to engage. But that conversation of right foot is engaged, left foot is engaged, whole body movement. As soon as I push into my right, there's a whole diagonal happens that moves us in one direction. And if I push into my left, it brings the whole body back. And you can see that whole action taking place. If you think about your grapefruit and you've peeled everything back and you can see the fascia, and you think about how if you take one section of that grapefruit and just give it a little pull, what happens to the water? The water and the juice is going to, might squirt you, might come flying out, but that water definitely moves. And that's what's happening within the fascia. You are starting to create a flow. The neurolymphatic rub is giving you the opportunity for that flow to be increased just by adding that in there. But let's add one more piece in there. We did rub up and down the spine, but you can make another connection. And this one, I'm just going to stay seated. You can stand if you wish. You're going to put your fingertips into the top of the head at the back. So it's not quite at the back, but towards the back. Okay. And then your other hand is going to go on your tailbone. Okay. So you can hold those points. And if you take a couple deep breaths, you might notice the whole system actually calm. This is a beautiful exercise when you're a little bit stressed or you've been sitting at your computer. This is one way to get things to really soften quickly. Calms the whole central nervous system. Okay, so now while it's softening, what we're going to do is come up to standing. We're going to take our leg out to the side. And your hand is just going to push on your leg. A little gentle on the first one, pushing it in. Lift it up, push a little bit more, and then push again. Okay, and then we're going to do the same to the other side. So your hand is on the side, a little bit of push, a little bit of more push, and one more. Now what we did with that was we engaged the cerebral spinal pump right at the base of the spine to help the fluid flow up the spine into the brain, just by adding that little extra piece in there. So we held those 2 points, and then we did a little pump. In Tai Chi, some of the movements, we would use it there. You noticed it when we were seated. Now let's go back and do our movement one more time and see if you notice any difference in the way that the spine is going to function. Okay, so sitting up nice and tall, you notice right on top of your sit bone, when you find the right spot, there's this fluid motion that can come through everything. If you're a little bit eager sitting forward, it'll lock. And if you go too far back, you really can't even feel your sit bones. You can feel your butt, but not your sit bones. So you want to actually be sitting right on top of them. Okay, from that position, let's try this. I'll try to call all the cues out. So feet go into the floor, and it helps raise your arms. You can feel your whole back expand with this action. Let that go. Everything is nice and relaxed. Push into your right foot, and there's a spiral, comes right up the top of the head, and the palms are facing either direction. Push into the left foot. This is going to come all the way around. Push into the right foot, and this is going to come back. Now push into the left, it's going to send you out. Sink. Push into your left foot, brings you back. Just had a vertebra just do a little crack in my back there. Okay, separate. This is going to lift you up on the sit bones. And now push into your right. It starts the spiral. Push into your left, and it brings you back. Push into your right, and this is going to go forward. Push into your left, takes you back. Sorry. I was having so much fun with the push. Okay, here, there. Okay, sorry. Now you've got push into your right foot, and there's this little spiral that happens towards the left, and your hands change places, and then push into your left, and that's going to bring you back. Push into your right, push into your left, and that's going to come down. Now push into your right, and the hands are going to go past each other, and then you're going to touch the palms together, one on top of the other, and then they separate. There's a nice lift through the sit bone, sink, up to the top, open, and then let that go. And now you're going to place the palms, they can go towards each other without touching, so have a space, or the palms can go together, it's up to you. And you're just going to expand and just notice what your back feels like. And so now, over the very first time I did it, I can feel the expansion that I could just keep going, and I would just be like forever, like an elastic band. That's going to come back down. All right, that opening sequence is stop the cart and ask for direction. And if you haven't studied Tai Chi or low cut before, what that means is you have a choice. You can live with health and wellness, or you can make decisions that are going to be detrimental to your health. When you start this sequence, you say, just by doing the actions, you're saying, I'm going to choose health. That's what you're saying. I want to choose wellness in my body. And the whole action is moving from right to left and massaging that fascia from the foot to the shoulder to the top of the head, and massaging it back the other way. And it's causing that fascia tissue to shape shift, to adjust, to be in balance, and for the water to flow. And that's the next part, which is you're actually working with a water wheel, and you're creating through this core, that movement is creating the flow of fluid. All of that in a little tiny bit of movement. Okay, so let's go to a couple standing things. And this is, again, just about trying to get that movement to happen for you. So what I'm going to do is go to a couple of foundation exercises. One is the spine rotation. You can do it seated, just keep your feet parallel. I'm going to do it standing so that everything, you can see it in a standing version. So the feet, I'm down into the floor. I can actually feel the 9 points of my feet. I feel very grounded at the moment. And then what I'm going to do is put my right hand up, so it makes a 90-degree angle. The palm is towards my ear. And the other hand is going to push like this action, but not because my arm moved, but because my spine is going to rotate. So if I push into my left foot, the spine rotation comes back. If I push into my right foot, spine goes around so I can turn to the left. And that's that whole body movement coming all the way through. So you're going to sink into your right, sink into your left. And feel that spine rotation come all the way across. Turn. Okay, so now while we're doing this, I want to remind you, it is National Bioenergetic Wellness Month, and the Canadian Association of Bioenergetic Wellness, of which I'm leadership team president, we are celebrating all things that support your wellness through energy building. And in our case, we use muscle monitoring to find out what the body needs in order for it to feel better or to have greater flow and balance. So we invite you to keep watching on the Instagram posts for Can Be Well. Please watch the posts. There's all kinds of things coming this month. Please keep an eye on Dance Debut's Facebook and Instagram. Please keep an eye on Tai Chi Wellness, which has Facebook. And if you want to check out any videos, you know that my YouTube channel, you can look up Michelle Greenwell, you can look up Dance Debut, you can look up Tai Chi Wellness. Any one of those will get you to my YouTube channel. There are playlists that are full of all kinds of information for you to be well. And since this is National Bioenergetic Wellness Month for all of November, I invite you to make the decision to be well. Make the decision to do something different to support you. And as we've supported the fascia today, to give you some ideas of how you can engage it and help it to flow and be fluid, also to shape shift so that the tissue is functioning in a much better way. This is your start. You've got it. Take advantage of Halloween tomorrow to think about your skeleton and think about the difference you can make in the body. All right, so we've just been doing spine turning, and that's engaging everything through the spine. Now, one of the things that we always use in Tai Chi is usually a bow at the end of a set. We didn't do a set today, but what I'm going to do is put the bow in because number one, it brings in gratitude, which is very important. When you come from a place of gratitude and the offering of compassion to others, you have the opportunity to expand how you feel. So we're going to put that gratitude in. And also you may notice as we go to do this bow, you just may notice how the tissue in your body feels. We didn't do it at the beginning, but I'm sure you're going to feel how the hamstrings, the glutes are all open, as well as how the spine is really open today as we go down. And you can check tomorrow morning and see if there's a difference between what you feel now and what you feel tomorrow. And if there is a difference and you want to make it better, come back to this video, watch it again, and just engage in everything that we're doing. Okay, so the ladies will grab onto the left thumb, gentlemen grab onto the right thumb. You're bringing the hands together. You are bringing, it looks like a little arrow, but then you're going to curl your hands over. That gives you a yin-yang symbol. You bring the hands together. The hands are going to come up in front of the brow, and then you're going to just allow yourself to hinge forward. Push into the feet, and you can push yourself back up. That actually felt quite nice. And there. Okay, So that is the skeleton and the fascia. We did neurolymphatics. We touched governing 20 and governing 1. We connected through so many different parts of the body. I hope this gives you some new ideas to play with and also to put into your everyday wellness plan. And if you haven't seen my post, you would have seen it on Dance Debuts page, and it did go to Tai Chi Wellness's page. So the little mind map of how to bring bioenergetic wellness into your day. And it has a whole bunch of ideas, and I hope I've expanded that for you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. And I appreciate every share, follow, and passing forward that you do to help others learn this material and to be able to be well themselves. Take care. Happy Halloween.